This is Tego and Tracy Venturi with the Venturi Realty Group, Keller Williams Realty. And our phone number, Tracy?
Sure. Give us a ring, 448-8888.
So Paul Roth is a marketing consultant we work with, and he has dialed us up today to talk about what is going on in the real estate market from this time of year, really. And so, Paul, you wanted to ask us some questions about that. So let's dive in.
Yeah, pretty simple question straight off the bat. First of all, thanks for having me on. How is the market this time of year in your area?
Tracy?
Well, you're the stats guy. So from what we see, the market is still very healthy. And, in August, the actual number of sales was up over last year. And I know there's a lot of news out there that says it's slowed and it's down. And that may be the case, but that's because in April, May, June, it was so frenetic that it does feel like it has slowed down, but it's still ahead of last year.
And so if you're on the Facebook, there's a couple charts there. One of them was a 10-year trend of closed sales, and one of them was a 10-year trend of homes for sale. And what we find in the Albuquerque market is during the summer month, let's say May, June, July, that's really when it peaks out. And if you look at the chart and you hover over the different peaks and valleys here, you'll see the numbers. So May, June last year was over 1,300 homes sold each of those months. This year in July or May, in May, we peaked out again at about 1,360 homes. We pulled back a little bit. August was strong again, but generally what we'll see is this time of year is the sales will start to slow down in the number of sales, not meaning that homes aren't selling. It's just slower.
Right. And so when you look at that historical chart that you provided there, it shows that, every year we see this where January, February is when we hit our low and we come back up but we're steadily going up. Right. That chart is the highs and lows are going up.
So, you're saying year over year.
Year over year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of the quick look on where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. So you mentioned historical data. Is this a year over year trend?
What we're seeing is year over year, we're seeing a trend of more homes selling, and we're still on that incline ever since probably somewhere around 2011 is really when our market, let's just call it what it is, bottomed out, right? And so now we're kind of coming out, and it's been just a steady increase year after year after year. But this time of year, it does start to slow down a little bit.
Which is typical.
Yeah, normal.
Excellent. Good to know. So then what are some tips for sellers you'd just like to share?
Tracy, you want to take that one?
Sure. So tips for sellers. So, homes are still selling and buyers still need to buy homes. So if you need to sell here as we go into the fall season, great. Let's get your house ready, get it marketed, get it staged, and talk about how to present it in the best light for you and take care of your needs and get it available to that buyer pool.
Yeah, and I don't think there's really a whole lot difference. And just because there's less homes selling this time of year, the other part of that is there's less homes on the market this time of year. Yeah, there's not going to be as many people out looking at homes that we saw earlier in the summer. However, people are still going to be buying all the way through winter, all the way through the holidays, and of course going into next year.
Excellent. So any tips for the buyers?
Funny, I was prepared for that question.
Well,
so
there
when
you go.
Said
that one's yours.
Sellers, I went, oh, okay.
Well, you don't need to prepare. You know this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So for buyers, I would say let's plan a time to have a conversation and talk about what's important to you as a home buyer, what your needs are, what your financial picture is, what your monthly comfort level is for your housing expense, what things are important to you in parts of town, your home style, how you live, how you entertain, pets, kids, people living with you, and talk about all the options out there before we just go out and start looking at houses. So we can do an in-person meeting and kind of go through all that, or we can do it on the phone, or we can go like we're doing here on a Skype call,
or Zoom, or
through
whatever.
Zoom or something, so we can somehow really have that conversation and best help you to meet your goal.
Excellent. Well, those are all the questions that I had for you. Any last remarks?
So Tego, you're kind of our stat guy. You're our market data guru for a lot of people. So are there some stats that you've been looking at that just really stand out that you want to make sure we talk about today?
Actually, I think it's more being counter what the kind of the dialogue has been out in the market is that the market is slowing down. And if you look at the data, the market is not slowing down. If you look at the data, August of this year versus August of last year, sales are still up 7%. So, at least in the Albuquerque market, it doesn't appear to be slowing down at any noticeable clip.
And that's sales. So prices, did you put a chart on prices out there?
Yeah,
and how were they?
Well, average prices are as high as they've been in a long time. Average price per square foot is as high as it's been in 10 years. And so, again, same thing. We're kind of on this slow trajectory of market appreciation. It's not this peak like we had back in 05, 06. We're now just kind of this steady appreciation since 2011. Will it turn sometime? Maybe. If nothing, if not, though, it'll probably just flatten out. We seem to be appreciating somewhere around 4%, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon.
So the recap is we have a nice, steady, healthy market, and people still need to buy and sell.
Yep.
Thanks, Paul.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thanks again for having me on, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Paul.